Getting ready for our first ever Pugs and Positivity here on the brand new high ground. As you can see, we're working out some kinks still. I'm in Treaty 7 land in southern Alberta, and Ageless is in Squamish territory. How's it going, Ageless?
Going well. Good. We were wondering where that background was going to go and show up. It's supposed to be here, and now it was over here, I guess. So we're gonna get that figured out as we go. But we're gonna go.
Yeah, and there it is. The technical difficulties may even be continuing here, as it looks like Ageless is disappearing on us. So I'm going to start this off. Solo Ageless, I believe you're back now?
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah. I think it's...
Yeah, this is not going well for Ageless, but we are getting ready for our first Pugs and Positivity here. We got a ton of content creators in these Pugs, as well as Tikatee as well from High Ground. So a lot of great talent coming out here, and this should be a really fun night of Overwatch action.
I'm really looking forward to it. Really solid players across the board.
We'll be able to see them coming through all night. You can see we got a red team and a blue team here. Nothing too fancy, just a tale as old as time, just one of the oldest rivalries around. And with that, we are getting into the game here. You can see with a blue team coming out with a bunch of interesting choices. We got the classic Ryan Zarya maneuver as well. Tikatee on the Zarya, so I'm going to be really watching Tikatee's bubble usage because I know he's a stickler for that sort of thing, and it is something that he really watches. On the other side, we got Lexxarie on the Widowmaker, which should be a fun little pick to start us off. This is obviously going to be a very big first fight coming through here. You can see as the red team getting ready to attack with the spawn doors opening in about 10 seconds.
We have seen PsfOW before, and a few of these other players as well. Giddy, we tuned into their Twitch stream yesterday, actually. They are a hell of a Widows here. I'm looking forward to some sniper v sniper here, maybe. It looks like opting for the Ashe, though, on the defense.
There's going to be a bunch of hits coming out on both sides here. You can see the Reinhardt on both sides with Gieorge and Coricat coming in, and Lexxarie's already able to get the first pick onto wOngtonfui, and that's going to be a big res coming out from Marshmallow to keep them into the fight. Lexxarie is going to get another pick, gets the Ashe twice. That is not making wOngtonfui very happy at all, as now we have red team getting in onto the point and already getting a tick at almost 2.
Such a quick cap here. You can see, oh wow, someone needs to shut down. No, this is unbelievable. That's PsfOW is gone again. You got to be getting off of the fire here.
The DPS for red team is off to a flying start coming out of the gates. Now there's 5:30 in the time bank, and you can see red team right now just pushing forward, not wanting to rest on their laurels at all and try and take away as much space as they can. Gieorge coming around for a bit of a flank here.
Oh, looks like they're going to get sneaky. They're going to... Oh, no, Tikatee, don't do it. Tikatee, maybe force to self-bubble, because that's one of Zarya's abilities is only self-bubble. You can't choose who you're bubbling with that second one here, so Tikatee will have to use a bubble on themselves, despite his, I'd say, disagreement with it in Overwatch 2. And there is that shatter.
And Gieorge comes out with that big shatter from the pub. Now comes out swinging, is able to get some of that. Coming back in, pins Tikatee, who just was the recipient of a nano boost, so that's going to keep the Zarya in charge. Gieorge finally finishes off Marshmallow. That is a high value pick, getting rid of the Mercy. And now with the Dragon Strike coming through, Giddy's going to claim Coricat. Lexxarie coming around and getting the Ashe again. This Widowmaker has the Ashe as number right now, and with that, red team isn't able to push any further just yet, as there's still contesting happening on the payload as Zaryas are going toe to toe.
This is an interesting play here from Tikatee. staying in the fight, and they have cornered the Widow. PsfOW gonna go down quite late. This is a pretty big stagger. Defense is gonna have their Valkyrie, so many pieces here, both tank ultimates plus the Valkyrie. Both DPS are coming up. It's only the nano that's been used as they capped the second point already. 5:30.
Red team just speed running King's Row right now, still at 5:30 left onto the map, but they are about to run into a bunch of different ultimates coming up from the blue team here. You can see Tick getting ready with that Graviton Surge online as Gieorge pushes forward once again. Hasn't really had to worry about the damage so far. They've been doing a lot with their hammer as well. Grab coming in from the off angle, that is going to be answered immediately by the Transcendence. Nice timing coming out there from SpghettiT to keep everyone alive. A great Transcendence from that Zenyatta as both tanks coming together again. Now Coricat gets that nano boost. That Reinhardt is going to be very scary for the next 6 seconds. They get hit down with the pin, and Coricat goes by the wayside, and now the big grab coming in on the other side from Rayxlene, and that's going to clean it up, and red team's going to get another hefty push.
This is a little bit of an overinvestment here from the tanks. We saw the Shatter and the Grab come out the same time. Shatter didn't hit SpghettiT, so they dropped none. That's a huge Transcendence, turned that entire fight around. A couple ultimates, but not really anything big. SpghettiT's just going to roll this right in. It's going in.
It's got, again, only a meter left to go, and that is going to do it. You can see Lexxarie and Rayxlene getting a couple picks right at the tail end of that fight. That is round 1 done and dusted. 4:24 left into the time bank for red team, and that is nothing to scoff at right now. They're off to a very strong start.
Oh boy. Okay, yeah, 4:24 is pretty substantial time bank to be finishing King's Row. OWGrandma says we have families in the chat. They might be missing them.
Yeah, not anymore. They're all getting cut down by Lex, it seems.
Holy, that's just such strong Widow play. I think you're caught off guard like that. It just seemed like they weren't really able to find their footing again. They kind of just gave up Streets phase, and it all began just by a couple quick picks early by Lex. Just, you know, you lose your DPS early as a Pharah. Like, what do you do when you start seeing a Widow hit shots this consistently? You got to just swap.
Angel's had color caster, but I'm going to say swapping is probably the order of the day at that point. And now we can see PSF coming out on the Genji. That should be a fun little wrinkle this time around, as I don't think we saw a Genji the first time through here in King's Row. So that will be a bit of a different look coming out from the attackers.
Yeah, likely looking to put some extra pressure onto Lex. I think this is definitely the way to go. I am a little surprised to see them continuing to run the rush composition. You know, I feel like a dive might be beneficial to try and, you know, shut down this Widow even further. You don't want to all in on them either, though. Like, just, you know, use all of your resources to take out just one person. But, oh, and that's exactly how you do it, PSF.
That is a brilliant start from the Genji. Now you can see PSF trying to get into the backline and take down Lauren's Ana, and they do just that, getting another kill before Giddy's finally able to send them back to spawn. But will it be enough for red team to hold on here? And it looks like it's going to be dicey for them, as blue team is moving over onto the point now with wOngton and Tikatee on the point.
Slowly ticking it up here. I think this is a really nice aggressive play here, and we're seeing this Genji from PSF immediately working out there. I have to be careful though. Lex will be back soon, and likely with a vengeance.
They got to keep an eye on that Widowmaker now. PSF's able to get rid of Gieorge. That's a great opening pick to try and secure this cap, and that is going to happen for blue team. Giddy once again doing their job punishing that Genji, but it's coming a little bit too late after PSF is able to get a couple picks, and now the payload's moving for blue, and they got a pretty decent time bank themselves.
Yeah, doing really well here. 5 minutes in the time bank. They are going to have the nano here. We'll probably see this go on to, I'm going to guess, Coricat, or actually PSF coming up to that blade. 62%, a little behind on the ultimate percentage, but I wouldn't even be that worried about it. You're putting so much pressure onto Lex on this Widow that I don't think it matters. You're not even building around the blade as like you so often are with Genji, where it's just kind of like you just wait until blade.
The nano has come out, and it's going to go in onto Coricat. There's a nice purple coming in there from SpghettiT, able to deny the healing onto the Reinhardt. And now Gieorge is going to get forward themselves. They've thrown down the Earth Shatter, and the Reinxlane combination for red team is going to push up and get a bunch of kills and stabilize here on the defense. So now it looks like they will be able to hold quite high up here and start burning time off this clock.
This can be a dangerous place to get held. They didn't get it around this first corner, which is really key. If you get stuck at this archway, it is an absolute slog making it through. You usually need to start using ultimates just to make it through here. PSF does have this blade available. No nano in sight, though. Here's OWGrandma. They're going to opt to use the Valkyrie with it.
PsfOW using the Transcendence here early, but the nice flank coming out from Giddy. They're going to get 2 with the Deadeye ahead of 3rd as they finish off PSF. Once again, they're absolute menace right now. And with that, red team is going to keep holding on this defense.
Yeah, they did use the Blade and the Valkyrie there, but they're going to have Grav Dragon next. And so they do have a couple really nice combinations of ultimates that are, that work so well together. They're team fight winners. So, throw out the Nano Blade or throw out the Nano Reinhardt. Even if that doesn't work as it did in this case, and here we go with the Grav, and there's the Dragon.
That's going to do a lot of damage, but not actually take any lives. Not a great move in the end there, but that is going to open up the space for Tikatee to get forward. Trades 1 for 1. Bolsaria's now out of the fight, and Giddy and Lex coming back in, getting 3. The DPS line is cracked right now for Team Red. Lex, you gotta stop it. This is getting out of control for the Widowmaker. And red team looks like they are going to be a tough nut to crack right now. Just nobody can get by this Widowmaker.
Oh, this is so rough. Lex is just putting out, taking up so much space, shutting down these sight lines extremely well. Look at the aggressive positioning here that Lex is taking. This is unbelievable.
And you can't argue with it if it works. And right now it is absolutely working for Lex. And coming through in this fight, red team even has a slight edge in the ult economy right now. They have all the tools they need to win another fight here as Coricat is getting ready to engage once again onto the Reinhardt. Lex coming around the back. They're going to get taken down by Tikatee on that Zarya. So now advantage Team Blue as they are going to try and convert this numbers advantage into a fight win, but it doesn't look like it's going to be the case. Gieorge picks up a 3K on the Reinhardt, and with the help of Giddy in the back, that is going to be a great fight for Team 2, for the red team, able to take that disadvantage and turn it on its head and get another convincing fight win.
They're up to another Deadeye and another Transcendence here. SweatySpgtti doing such a nice job on the Zenyatta, building these trances so quickly. And there's that Deadeye from Giddy.
The Deadeye gets 1, it gets rid of wOngtonfui once again. That is going to hurt, but now coming in, Marshmallow is going to get the res back in here, and that is going to keep Team Blue into the fight. Nice fire strike coming out there from Gieorge. They got the Earth Shatter, and they're going to put it down right on top of Coricat. Purple comes out from Lauren. That's going to secure a kill on the Giddy, and I don't know if George's Reinhardt's going to make it out of this one. They're able to get a kill onto the Adide. Are they going to be able to survive the onslaught of this? Hanzo coming back in, and yes, they will. The help of SweatySpgtti on that Zenyatta, and when it looked like it was all over for Gieorge, they were able to just slip away with the help of that Zen and stay in that fight.
They managed to hold on to the Transcendence there as well. This is going to be a key part of this next fight. Tikatee 80% to the Grav. They're going to have this Grav Dragon combo. They're going to have to do something about SweatySpgtti, though. This can all come apart if they're able to hold on and keep this Transcendence.
Transcendence coming out soon, possibly. Right now we got maybe a little bit of fight happening in the subway down low. Maybe a bit of a sneaky flank coming out there. But the fight is now grouping up over onto the payload as we are in final fight territory. Only 20 seconds remaining on the clock. Early Transcendence coming out here from SweatySpgtti to see if they can get a couple kills. Well, everybody is getting a lot of healing from that Transcendence. Doesn't look like to be the case now. The Nano Boost out once again from OWGrandma onto Coricat, who's going to try and push forward. They get the Earth Shatter down, but they get taken out by Rayxlene on that Zarya. And that could all be over. PSF pops the visor. They're able to get rid of the Cassidy, but will that be enough? It's not looking great right now. Gieorge is able to get into the backline and swing onto the Hanzo. Tikatee doing all that they can to stay alive. You can see Marshmallow above everyone trying to throw in that extra damage boost. Tikatee still looking all right. Big purple coming out there from Lauren to deny some more healing, and that could be the end of it. We got the Dragons coming out from spawn right now, so we will see those momentarily onto the point as both teams are coming toe-to-toe once again.
Oh, I really thought these Dragons were going to get something here. Tikatee has arrived on the scene, starting to get some kills, but is it going to be enough here? Joined by the rest of their team. Oh, and the res onto Coricat is huge.
PSF back in on the Tracer. They're able to get Rayxlene, and now with a headshot on the Lex, getting a taste of their own medicine. That is going to be the overtime push. Looking like it will be successful for Team Blue. They are going to extend their time bank and stay alive here in Kings Row.
just in the nick of time, but only a minute and 20 left on the clock. It's, you know, obviously impossible to match that 4:24 time bank that the red team had set earlier. They just need to finish with time, though. Even if it's 1 second, they need to finish with time and give themselves a fighting chance to not just take the tie.
Tikatee and PsfOW were able to get in the backline and punish Gieorge, who's been out of position, but that's a quick trans built there from SweatySpgtti to be able to pop that and nullify most of the damage coming in from the Zarya ult coming out of Tikatee. Now Lex getting back into the groove, getting rid of the Hanzo once again. They are going to get res back into the fight, but SweatySpgtti was able to take it down Coricat in the meantime. That's the main tank out of the equation now for Team Blue, and with Gieorge a double fire strike kill, getting both supports. That is going to be devastating for the attackers now, as they only have 30 seconds left.
Playing some Overwatch 2 Reinhardt with the 2 fire strikes. Gieorge not needing him, only needs the one, gets both kills there. No defensive ultimates on the defensive side here. They're going to be coming up to sites. Oh, actually, and Deadeye here, which could be a really big space creator, especially with only 10 seconds left.
We're going to start off with the Dragon Strike coming out from the Hanzo. That's going to split up a couple members. And now the snipers are going back at it. Mano Imano coming toe-to-toe. Lexo doing a great job of popping the walls and building some more space. Now Giddy's able to get and finish off PsfOW. And with that, the attackers are starting to lose members. And Giddy is going to try and get into the backline here and see if they can hit an extra shot. And here comes the grab out from Rayxlene.
Yeah, Giddy's in the back looking for this Deadeye. You can see the dude get taken out by Marshmallow, pulling out the Glock, but is it going to be enough? It doesn't look like it.
Lex is getting really deep right now with the Widowmaker, but that looks like it isn't going to matter anymore. Team 2, or Red Team, is going to take the first map of the day in these creator pugs.
This just kind of came down to realistically DPS. Lex putting so much pressure on everyone that any kind of mistake or you know, back and forth that was happening, it was just always this X factor happening. Tikatee says, "You think coaches can play?" Oh well, Tikatee. I did like the Tikatee Diva swap there at the end. I thought that was really fantastic. Just maybe a little bit too late.
At the end of the day, it was a pretty good play coming out. OWGrandma looked great on the Ana, which is not a surprise at all. If you've ever seen their stream, that's just absolutely normal for them. But that was a really fun start. We got to see some great plays coming out off the start. You know, there was like a 3K dead. I know those are like the more flashy, kill feedy kind of ultimates, but it was still really fun to watch. And I'm going to miss watching the Zarya Ryan duo when Overwatch 2 comes around, because you ain't going to see that no more.
Absolutely, especially on King's Row. It's kind of that's like where you'll see, even if it doesn't even make sense to play it, people usually just kind of roll it out one last time. So you're right, I will miss the Ryan Zarya combination, especially on some of these more rush centric maps. We're just gonna let everyone redo some teams here, redo some maps, figure out what is going to be coming up next, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Hey folks, we are back here on Pugs and Positivity, these creator pugs, and I'm NewBeat here with Ageless as we're getting ready for our second map of the day, and it looks like we'll be heading over to Dorado.
Very fun map. We recently talked about the first point of Dorado yesterday, and we did a little bit of bracket with Koby and Tikatee. I guess it was the last time we had High Ground on the Questline Esports channel, so we're moving it over to this channel going forward. But yeah, we decided that Dorado High Ground, I think, made like the top 4 of best High Grounds, so however you want to grade them. I think Tikatee said like with the most fair high ground. Koby, who's also in this game, was talking about like the most oppressive. Adam, you were saying whichever one you had recently got to play the game on.
Just which one I liked for those 5 seconds, basically.
Yeah.
There was truly no criteria of any kind. Speaking of Coach Koby, though, I do see him in the Discord with us. So, Koby, if you want to say hi to your adoring fans out there, feel free.
Hello, adoring fans. Yeah, I decided to come lurk. Yeah, we were all using different qualifications for what constitutes the air quote best high ground, and that led to some interesting discussions. I guess we'll say. But it's funny. I had the lowdown while I was in the lobby with Blue Team while they were selecting the map. The discussion was solely surrounding what is the worst Widow map of the escort map they could choose from.
You know,
Honestly,
I don't blame them.
Dorado.
Yeah, the way that first map went, that was that's not a bad way to do it. Also, it's funny that they picked this to now Tikatee himself on the Widow. So an interesting.
You guys may find it interesting to know that Lex, actually a little bit of detail about Lex, but we'll kind of shout out our streamers one by one here. Lex is actually a diamond, like a just diamond Widow peak player that just hit diamond for the first time, I believe, this or last season.
What?
Lex, isn't that unbelievable? Lex absolutely dominant, but truly she's a diamond player. Also, a fun fact is that wOngtonfui, we see him on the blue team, is a mid GM hit scan / Widow player. And we have yet to see Wong pull out the Widow in response, but I was wondering how far it was going to have to go for Lex to just dunk on their team before we saw Wong say, okay, let's see if we don't put an end to this.
Well, you can see right there in that last team fight, wOngtonfui just took over with a vengeance.
This makes sense. I feel like Lex is always the opposing Widow in my Diamond games, so that makes a ton of sense. I don't feel as crazy now. It is possible. Good lord.
Ooh, Giddy also has the Widow himself with a huge shot on Tick. That one, I'm surprised we don't see anything in match chat right after that. If he gets him again, we'll get a question mark, I bet, here. But
absolutely. Oh, Tikatee.
Tick comes back
rezzed and then picks up 2.
Maybe the coaches can play.
Apparently, this is really interesting. So the double bubble coming out from red team here, really enabling a lot of the aggression of Gieorge. I think this is a nice move. Gieorge has showed to be a really strong tank player. Conversely, on the other side, you can see they're ready to deal with the Widow here. Giddy on the Widow this time, obviously no slouch either, but having the Wrecking Ball Diva combination, absolutely massive, makes it so difficult for these Widows to hold space, always making them reposition here. And it looked like, yeah, Coricat was the only one stuck in that grab, and they're just gonna not even, they kind of lived through it with the help of the bomb, but yeah, back in action right away, and they're getting stalled out here just underneath the bridge.
Right there, we truly had an ult fiesta here on Dorado. That was crazy. There were a lot of ultimates spent in the fight, and the payload still has not made it to the first checkpoint. Giddy's able to get another headshot, this one onto Tikatee, but they're going to pay with their life. PsfOW coming back in on the Wrecking Ball, trying to stay alive and keeping this cart just not moving at all right now.
Yeah, stalled right out here. Gieorge has moved over to the Reinhardt here. So looking to hold a little bit more space on the cart potentially.
Red team struggling a bit more this time around. It seems like it was a good map pick coming out. We do have an Nano Boost online for Lauren, but OWGrandma is going to go down first. They get taken down by the Diva. Payload still being contested on the point. Tikatee's able to find another kill, but that gets traded almost instantly now. So Tikatee doubles down, gets another headshot. Payload's getting very close to the end here, but not quite in as we're headed into overtime.
This is so well played by the defense here. clearly did a nice job picking the map, as you said, and it just consistently shutting it down with Gieorge on the Reinhardt. Oh, they are going to have to back off. Someone's going to have to touch. SweatySpgtti's touching, who's now off of the Zenyatta and off into the off-tank position.
And with that, we have the boss coming up from wOngtonfui, which is going to be huge. That's going to keep contesting that payload. Overtime burning away. Somebody's able to get back in on the touch before that runs out, and now the pick comes through. 2 more picks coming up for the blue team, staying alive into this fight. And they are going to hold on here. That's an absolutely massive nano that comes out at the end there from OWGrandma. And as we've mentioned, Ageless, that's a perfect map pick. That was a great hold.
Yeah, it looked pretty convincing, I want to say, on King's Row, and they've done a nice job, you know, shifting everyone around here within roles. And I think, you know, pretty dominant performance coming out here. Really nice first hold on Dorado. This can be a tough map to hold as well. I thought they did a really nice job making sure to take their fights at, you know, all of the right positions. They're taking a really good fight underneath that bridge, putting a lot of pressure onto the DPS, and the backline was pretty slippery as well. We saw that Lex on that Tracer wasn't finding nearly as much value just by virtue of the supports kind of just being out of sight constantly. They did a nice job, you know, staying alive, which is what everyone seemed to have trouble with on King's Row.
Yeah, and Koby, I know it's early days so far, but how do you feel about the PUGS and positivity this far?
Loving this. You know, I think we have such an amazing group of creators that we got to join us today on very short notice too, by the way. You might hear some audio bleed behind me because I actually have Combat Marshmallow sitting next to me. We met for the first time today. So Marsh is here gathering for another streamer, but that's just a testament that kind of goes toward you kind of my saying that an absolutely amazing group of people we have gathered that are all positive and an absolute force for good in the Overwatch community, coming together for some great games and really a change of who's at the wheel here heading into the blue team's attack.
Yeah, no kidding. And one way you can really see this positivity is just in the match chat itself. Aegis and I have casted other tournaments where the match chat is not as, let's say, respectful as this one has been so far. So that for me is really nice to see. I was trying to figure out a way to put it nicely, you know? But with that, we can see PsfOW on this Roadhog trying to take away some of the high ground. Lex is able to show up with the cast and get rid of Coricat. And now with 2 picks, that is going to be Red getting their defense off to a decent start.
Really high damage output coming out here, like the Roadhog and Sigma, and then Cassidy and Soldier plus the Zen. Just so much poke able to come out from this team to try and shut this down. Tikatee's moved over to the, sorry, not moved over, is on the Widowmaker. Still trying to shut down these Highlands, and PsfOW on the Roadhog themselves. You know, it's not often I get excited to see Roadhog, but I actually am here in this game.
Lex was able to get another pick as they're going to take down Tikatee, and with Gieorge getting PsfOW, this has been an all defenders map so far both ways.
You're absolutely right. It's almost bizarre, I feel like, and it's not even like what you would think like the Valley of Death that has been kind of control the high ground and you basically just wait around. Rayxlene has done a nice job holding this down. As I say this, everyone except for the tanks moves over to the high ground here. So a lot more pressure coming in here. Lex is all ready to go. They do have the Whole Hog, the Nano, Gravitic Flux. Their Transcend is like so much available for them. Oh, except unless you get your head taken off.
Tick with a pick early on here, able to get rid of Lex. That is going to be the go button for Team Blue. They're going to see if they can convert that into more eliminations. As you can see, Tikatee getting close to the infra site, also trying to flank around the backside here, gets hit with the flux, and then a hook coming out from Gieorge. Now we have the nano boost going in onto Marshmallow. See what's going to happen with the nano Mercy. We got PsfOW throwing out the Whole Hog. A lot of ultimates being spent once again in the same fight as Rayxlene pops attack visor to get rid of Marshmallow. And with that, Rayxlene is going to get quite a few picks. Some good play here on the Soldier as the payload gets close to the finish line.
wOngtonfui. We did talk about the mid GM-ness of them earlier, and we are seeing exactly why. Oh boy, just taking it over here.
This is absolutely wild. Yeah, They're trying to restore their reputation right now, getting a bunch of picks in a row. Now the whole lot comes out from Gieorge to finally end the Ashes' reign of terror, as there's only 2 meters left for the payload to go here. Marshmallow coming in with the res, and Coricat gets a kill with the Sigma, and that will do it. Toronto is done. Blue is going to take this, and so far today, both teams have taken a map.
Yeah, balance has been restored. Really well played there, especially towards the end. OWGrandma, a really nice sequence there. Gets to sleep onto the Bob, antis the Hog, just shuts down everybody on that. We're gonna see, yeah, walked in. Oh, it's okay. So there's a nano involved, and there goes everyone. Oh,
that was the end of the first round there. That was absolutely nutty. Just hitting all those shots. It was just really fun to watch. There was a lot of great plays. Once again, we've only seen 2 maps so far, and I feel like everybody has really carried the weight already, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, especially for teams that haven't really played together. I'm sure, a lot of these people have played together in, small groups and things like that, but it's always a little bit different when you're all on the same team together. Honestly, it's been really fantastic seeing some of the clutch plays coming out, especially, really visible plays coming out from the supports. It is, yeah, I feel like we've done Overwatch 2 now for I guess the last couple months is pretty much all we've been casting has been Overwatch 2, taking a pretty big break from the first one. It is, I gotta say, it is fun being back, having all 6 on the board. I still miss I still miss Overwatch 2, but it is fun. It's like the old GOATS tournaments. We're like, this is nice for a day.
I don't know. I think this is better than old GOATS tournaments. Like that's
fair.
That's
Okay,
setting
fair.
the bar pretty low. I don't need anything about any GOATS tournament ever again. It's just I'm not here for that.
Yeah, fair. Looks like we're going to be headed to Lijiang Tower next. Looks like do we have a Koby in here with us?
You do, yeah. It looks like red team, as I'm posting in chat right now, has selected Lijiang for the final map.
Excellent. Okay, we're ready to go here. Tell us about some more of these creators here. Tell us about Gieorge.
Yeah, so Gieorge actually is probably the newest creator of the bunch. Gieorge is a young kid who's actually appeared on some content creators that aren't with us today, notably Koby, Lorenzo, constantly playing with PsfOW. Is always on their streams playing with them, and finally got convinced to, I think, make his own stream, start making some of his own content. So Gieorge, a new creator, actually Gieorge with an I on Twitch.
Yeah.
But Gieorge, a new creator. Gieorge himself being a tank main, switch over from console, immediately a GM console player that came right away to become a high masters / low GM main tank player on PC. So Gieorge, another incredibly talented, an incredibly talented player. And we saw a little bit of that with the Gieorge on the Rhine into Coricat, who's primarily a support on the first point. But Gieorge, another amazing creator and someone that I think really deserves all the love in the scene, being here with with some of the more established creators.
That's super impressive coming over from console like that too. When I came over from console, it took me like a solid month to figure out how to use a keyboard. So that's really impressive to get up that high that quickly.
Absolutely, they are meeting here in the white room as things start things off. Running the ball here though, not often seen here from Giddy. All right, cut you off there, Koby.
No, you're good. It's actually really interesting. What's funny is that I heard when I asked Red Team to select the map, I heard Lexxarie say we have the OWG Power, meaning the Overwatch Empowerment Cup, in which Lex was on a team, and then of course Rayxlene was also on a different OWG team. Rayxlene was on a coach that actually Tikatee and I coached together for that event. Lex was on a different team, and yet we see the blue team, Tikatee's team, come out on the quote optimized tournament strat, playing that Rhine Sim Lucio spam comp from that wants control of White Room. Once they get that White Room control, it's incredibly difficult to dislodge them. But just very interesting that we see that Lex making an allusion to the tournament strat, and yet all of a sudden they come out on Ryan Ball, and yet they're going to take White Room in total control of point A here and really hold through the second fight, despite the pro coach team playing the optimized strat. I don't know what's going on, guys.
Yeah, pretty It is a little shocking here as they're building up to 40%. 5 ultimates on the board here. I think only Rayxlene has used one so far, so tons of tools left coming into this. PsfOW is going to swap over to the Mei, try and shut down Gieorge. It's, I think, what we're looking for here, trying to isolate them. Oh boy, here comes the minefield.
So that will start it off, and I'm sure there will be more ultimates to come here as a lot of people are going to press Q in short order. You can see a sim wall or two coming out in onto the field. There comes the Earth Shadow coming out from Gieorge, but they get hit by an anti-nade and taken down almost instantly as there have been a ton of ultimates spent, and Red is going to hold on and keep control.
Looking really solid here. They did use quite a bit, though, to hold on to this. Giddy already almost at another minefield, though.
That's a quick minefield, I got to tell you. Now Giddy trying to maybe go for a knockout. Going for the touch of spawn door challenge.
No.
They are gonna pay for it. Frozen up and taken down. A kill with 3 assists. That is a lot of focus onto the wrecking ball, and that means the main tank is now out of the fight. Red looking like they're going to be content with getting to 99% if they can, unless somebody can find a pick to turn this around for the red team. And now Giddy is back, and they're gonna throw down the minefield. And a trade comes out. Both main tanks are gonna get killed. Now the big flag coming out here from Coricat, but it's not going to matter. Red is cleaning up onto the point. Only one member left as the Roadhog is trying to hold on, but with Tikatee eliminated, that's going to do it here for the first sub-map. And Control Center is going to go to Team Red 100-0, a clean sweep.
They started out playing a pretty meta composition there. I don't know about this Roadhog business from Tikatee. We're gonna have to have a chat.
They started playing a pretty meta comp, but they lacked some of the spam components that makes that comp really obnoxious. Notably Junkrat. We didn't see the Junkrat's kind of the major facilitator of that comp. Typically you play to control White Room and then hold multiple spam lanes down and across the right and left sides of the point, as well as your opponent's main kind of egress and entrance point. We'll see what they end up electing with here. So I think they played like a kind of optimized strat light type favor, but here we're going to see Tikatee go ball to kind of mirror Giddy, and yet it looks like we're closer to a 6-man / full dive coming out on Red here from Red.
Yeah, 6-man with the fire, which isn't like super surprising. This is a great map for fire, looking for those environmental kills on the bridges, and it's going to be fire v fire with PsfOW bringing out as well.
Both teams coming together on the bridge. On the blue team side right now, and Rayxlene's able to get a knockoff onto the Baby Diva, so that's Coricat going back to spawn. The off tank out of the equation. Now Giddy's able to get another pick with the micro missiles, and Red off to a very solid start here. Already a couple picks with the point about to unlock.
My God, Ray go burr. Ray just absolutely in there like swimwear, dunking on 2 of the blue members. Got 2 instant picks and held them right to rock. They couldn't even walk bridge or left side because of the absolute dominance out of the Ray Farah, as you see in match chat Corey with the okay Ray.
That's so impressive, and usually this composition is built around the Reaper. It's kind of an all-in kind of composition where you're trying to get your Reaper in there. Oh, PsfOW, nice Helix rocket there. So not really needing that all-in. They have a little bit more spam and able to control space a little bit easier with this fire. Oh no.
Big bomb coming up. Giddy gets 2. You don't see that one every day anymore. Rayxlene's able to get another pick and just clean this up for Red Team. Really, the Diva bomb there just sealed off that fight, and now it's going to have to be a reset for Team Blue. Team Red's off to another good start, already up to 35% and counting, and after winning the first sub-map 100-0, it's looking like more of the same so far.
wOngtonfui,
I think Wong has hit his limit.
Like, okay, all right, that's enough. Brings out the Widow, walks out the door, and the fire is out of the sky.
And Major's coming out there from SweatySpgtti, able to get in, and even though it didn't get any picture assist by itself, it was still allowing that space for Red Team to get forward. You can see them getting those picks. Giddy gets another environmental kill, and Gieorge is back out safe and sound, and this is just smooth sailing right now for Team 2.
I didn't think Gieorge was making it out of there. You could see them go critical like a second into the Primal Rage, going for that touch to spawn door challenge again. Here comes the bomb from Giddy.
Over the top. This one doesn't get anything. Everybody was able to find cover and get out of the line of sight of that ultimate. You can see wOngtonfui coming back over with that Widowmaker. Has a damage boost on them as well, and they're able to take down SweatySpgtti before that. Barrage comes out from Rayxlene, that only finds one before they find a Helix rocket to the face. wOngtonfui on the flank of their own, able to get another headshot in on the Lex, and now the Widowmaker popping off. And it might not be enough here. OWGrandma was able to take down Gieorge. And with that, PsfOW is still on the point. Another Helix rocket finish, this time on the Mercy. They do have attack visor, but they're not going to make it. Blue is finally going to get the flip and stay alive here on Garden.
Really strong heads up by Gieorge, I think. Identifying, oh shit, Wong's on Widow, right? For lack of a layman's term, we can say that in this kind of cast. And immediately using the monkey to jump full into to the Widow. Identifying that Wong on Widow for a long extended amount of time is not a good thing for his team.
Lex,
yeah, you leave that alone, it's over.
Lex throwing out the 4-person EMP there. Now PsfOW, sorry, I've been on Photoshop too much, is going to throw down and get rid of Lex with that attack visor. And now the Resurrection coming through, getting that Somber back into the fight. Primal Rage going to the back line for Tikatee, getting very low. They're able to take down Rayxlene, but with 7 HP, I don't think they're going to make it out.
Tikatee, the raging scientist trying, I'm just gonna hide behind this pillar, unfortunately doesn't quite work out. Does de-stealth Lex on that Somber, so they have to do a little bit of a reset there. Bomb coming up here for Coricat. I think we'll probably see this come out pretty aggressively to deny space.
And as you say, Ageless, bomb coming in out over the top, which all it's going to do is create that space. They're not going to find any eliminations as the touch is onto the point. Now bomb coming in over from Giddy this time around. Same result, though, not much happening there as Coricat trying to overwhelm the Winston. And okay, see you later, Gieorge. Just jumping right over the edge of the map and into the city center of Lijiang, more or less. That's going to be a long fall. Coricat back in onto the point, and the attack visor is going to get popped by PsfOW now, and it's going to find 2. The attack visor doing work. That's a visor right there with the nano coming in as well. And that is going to be 90% and counting. It's going to be tough for Red to come back from this.
I did really like the Diva Bomb there from Giddy, and it kind of covered Gieorge's dive as they went in. Unfortunately, just not enough, and there's the EMP.
EMP comes out. This time it only gets 3, and Rayxlene is going to come in on the back of that, get 1 with the attack visor, but PsfOW and wOngtonfui. The DPS for Team Blue is showing up. Coricat coming back in with a remake kill. You'd love to see it unless you're Giddy. And with that, overtime burns away. Blue is going to take map number 2, 100-99, in what turned out to be a bit of a nail biter.
Yeah, it's funny. The first map, Control Center, seemed pretty one-sided there. Absolutely waking up for Gardens.
Holy game. This is ridiculous. The Kings Row game looks like Red was gonna run away with this. Wong went absolutely insane on Dorado. I thought Blue Team was gonna run away with this. Now here we are 1-1 on our cough heading into the final round of play. This is a nail biter, like almost seemingly out of nowhere. What a great first matchup. Oh my god, who picked these teams?
Yeah, I was gonna say kudos to whoever did the balancing. Yeah, that's perfectly done.
Wait a minute. Honestly, for 4 pickup games, it is pretty unreal to be going into map 3, like sub map 3 here. So very nice job. Koby definitely is the person for the job.
I did not pick these teams. They picked them themselves. We did this true pickup game style with Wong and Gieorge as captain. They picked these themselves.
Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah, they knew exactly what they were getting into then.
Truly, the Overwatch gods were smiling upon us when we were picking these teams, and now we can see the Red Team got over to the point first, and they're going to be able to hold up, and especially with Tikatee going down on the Wrecking Ball, this is going to be a cap and some pretty decent percentage coming off the hop for Team Red.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting comp here with the dive. It doesn't really surprise, but I guess it does surprise me to see Tikatee on Wrecking Ball. It doesn't surprise me to see a Wrecking Ball on this map, especially towards the end of the Overwatch 1 meta. We kind of saw this like Ball Zenyatta comp getting a ton of play. Unfortunately, gets the charge there, and Tikatee's out of the fight.
Big Purple came out at the start of the fight from OWGrandma, and that's really what allowed Blue to get onto the point. Nice shot there from wOngtonfui to get rid of the Zen. And okay, see what Gieorge just, no, he's got somewhere to be.
Yeah, late for an important date. I think there was the Reinhardt just resetting there, trying to get back a little bit faster for them. Nano is was available for wOWGrandma. Oh no.
That was so perfectly timed. And now with that blue team, it's going to get that Ana back, and they're going to throw down the Nano Boost on what I can assume is PsfOW, who popped the visor. But Rayxlene had a visor of their own and got a better return for invest there. As red team is back in onto the point, and they're going to flip this one back over. A little bit of an advantage here for cap percentage for Team Blue, but it's not going to last very long.
No, and Team Red just has so much more point presence here, running this rush composition. I guess rush minus Lucio, which is kind of weird. But still a lot more point presence, a little bit more brawly with the Rein Zarya here. Tikatee and Coricat are kind of forced to do little like drive-bys, try and force out some cooldowns and then take advantage of it. Red's able to just stand on the point, just by virtue of being there. They're finding a lot of value.
And I think there is going to be a grab coming out, and that is the case. OWGrandma was able to find one with the nade, but Gieorge is going to find two swinging into that Graviton Surge, and that is going to secure another fight win for Red here. And they're up to 71%. They probably only need to win one more fight here to take the sub map.
Yeah, this is last fight territory here for Red.
And coming back in, we got Blue coming in over the top. Coricat's going to throw in that bomb. It doesn't get onto the point or claim anyone's live. PsfOW was able to get one with the Helix, but will that be enough to turn it around now? OWGrandma was able to get an elimination of their own onto Gieorge, and Blue team is coming in with a vengeance right now. wOngtonfui with two headshots, getting rid of the 3 in the end, and Blue team is going to turn this one back around and stay alive in this map.
This is so impressive for them to be able to take this back. As I said before, there's not a lot of point presence. It's really difficult to stand and hold on that point for them. Really going to be relying on getting some sort of a pick probably from wOngtonfui or maybe PsfOW, who is going to be coming up to another one of these visors. Nano is available. We're probably going to see it go on to PsfOW again. And here's the visor from Ray to start things off. Oh no.
Rayxlene's gonna get one right off the hop. That's Marshmallow. It's such a high value pick getting the Mercy, and now they're able to take down PsfOW as well. Who wasn't able to use the visor of their own, and now red team moving over onto the point with that numbers advantage. They're able to get the mech gone for Coricat, and now the slam coming out from the Rein there. Wasn't able to get much, and now Giddy coming back in too with the Zarya. Overtime almost runs out, but Gieorge is gonna hit the pin onto Marshmallow. I can't believe this overtime wick has not burned away yet. And as I say that, it almost does. Tikatee was able to get back in onto the point. Some great stalls coming up from Team Blue, but that's really all it is at this point. There's no way they can get back onto the point with any meaningful presence, and that will do it. Team 2 wins. So the red team wins here in a classic.
Oh, that was unbelievable towards the end. There are just too many ultimates available. Wasn't enough. Not enough left in the tank for them. But again, wOngtonfui just putting the game on the shoulders.
Just an absolutely filthy Widowmaker. Oh my lord. Okay, yeah, that's a good shot. And it's always good to get a damage card when you're a Widowmaker too. That doesn't always happen. But with that, we are seeing the end of our first match here. And Ageless, I gotta say, that lived up to expectations and, dare I say, even exceeded them.
Absolutely. The whole time I thought we were just gassing up Koby for picking these teams, and it was the players who need to be gassed up. So all these creators came out, picked really good teams, taking it all the way to the, I guess, like a sudden death of the 3 maps. So kudos to everyone there. And we are going to take a quick break. We're going to pick some new teams. We're going to pick some new maps, and we'll be back in just a moment. So don't go anywhere.
Hello, everyone. We are back. NewBeat here with Ageless and the disembodied voice of Coach Koby as we get ready for another map here in these PUGS positivity. Ageless, Koby, how have you liked it so far? I think it's been pretty fun.
Yeah, this is amazing. I can tell you firsthand from being back and forth with the teams. The teams are having a blast. It seems like what a crazy first series. They're all feeling the craziness that first series. Unsurprisingly, the first pick of the match was Wong, to which Giddy immediately said, "Well, we better pick a Widow too," and snapped Lex off the second pick.
I guess, yeah, you definitely. Although if they're on the same team, they both can't play Widow, so you know, it's not too bad. But I definitely
Brain Ageless, big brain.
Yeah.
And what if it was like super old Overwatch rules and you could have 2 Widows? Remember those days?
Oh my god, we should do a no limits game.
Yeah.
5 Winstons and a Lucio.
Yeah. I remember the first time. I remember the first time I played all no limits. It was like our whole team picked Tracer, and then the whole other team just picked Junkrats. It was absolute mayhem.
Just Torbs. Looking like running some more rush here. Tikatee on the Reinhardt, playing a little bit of mystery heroes with the tanks. I think we've seen Tikatee on just about every tank so far this game. Swapping to the main tank with Gieorge on the Zarya.
A little bit of
I have
switch up
questions.
coming through. Tikatee off to a decent start here. wOngtonfui, of course, was able to get the first pick onto Lex's Widow, who's already switched over to mirror them on the Ashe. So another instance of one of these DPS players saying, you know what, I can do that too. So we'll see how that switch works out for them.
Yeah, I like the swap to the Ashe. You're not going to get the crazy long sight lines realistically. You can, once you poke around this corner, pretty much everyone's within range as the Ashe, and that dynamite, you know, just putting some extra pressure onto the supports to keep their team up with all that chip damage. I like this Sigma from Giddy here too.
Working out well so far, but Giddy has to back up here as they momentarily lost Lex, but OWGrandma was able to get in with the resurrection. But Gieorge punishes the resurrection with a kill as Gieorge staying up here on the high ground gets hit by the accretion, getting very low and taken down. That was so close to staying alive there for the Zarya, but they do get taken down in the end. And with that,
Oh my God.
red team is having trouble finding their way through this choke.
Yeah, and
Sure.
you know, it's well behind on the ultimates as well.
They sure are, but also I find Lex for the first time, Lex switching to the Ashe. I like the Pharah going over the choke. I think that was well played, but you saw Wong almost with a hard pocket from Marsh, and Wong actually playing the second they push, plays up on that patio. Unless they remove Wong, a hit scan player that talented from the high ground, I just find it difficult for Red to even consider taking this point.
Now we got the grab coming out here from Gieorge, and there are no kills on the back of that so far. And now the Bob comes out, and wOngtonfui's Bob gets 2. And then the Ashe comes in themselves to clean up Rayxlene, and the Cassie is now gone. This is a very tough attack now for Team Red, as they just haven't been able to find any purchase, even though that time they were able to get through that choke under the bridge.
And we actually saw Lex's Bob come out as well. I think it ended up kind of running and bouncing into just some unfortunate placement, not really finding anything. So both Bobs out from the Ashes here. The Deadeye is available from Coricat. So and there it is. Oh no.
Giddy's starting out with the gravitic flux from the logo, and now PsfOW getting forward here, getting 1 pick, and now Tikatee is down as well. Marshmallow able to get the resurrection in onto the Reinhardt to get the main tank back into the fray. And Rayxlene going on a flank of their own on this Hanzo, seeing if they can finish off. Tikatee is pushing forward with a full health Reinhardt. That's going to be tough for Hanzo to deal with, as now Tikatee getting back in onto the point, misses the charge there. But Lex up top is now free firing from the high ground.
Yeah, this is not where you want Alex to be, is free firing into your backline. Here comes the Bob, and kind of by a grab.
Get him, Bob, right now. Bob able to get rid of Gieorge, but that was just it. There are still a couple members of Red Team onto the point. We'll see if they can secure this cap. They're at 99.3%. Tantalizingly close right now. They just got to clean up the staggers, and they do just that, getting rid of Marshmallow, and they will unlock the payload.
What an insane play by Grandma. Uses Valkyrie, sits behind the Bob, damage boosts the Bob to make sure that she can get her passive heal. Once she passively heals, takes out the Glock, kills the remaining player on point, and then reses PsfOW on the Reinhardt to secure the lock. What an absolute gigabrain sequence by Grandma. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, completely. It's not often, I feel like, especially, you know, people are always like, Mercy, whatever. This is exactly how Mercy should be played. These like massive strategic plays. You can't ask for anything more.
Now we'll see what the strategy is coming here. Tikatee putting the shatter underneath the payload. That's a great play coming in. And they have the nano boost on them as well. Oh no, Lex, you gotta run. You gotta get away from that rider. Lex was able to get out with the help of the coach gun. A nice shatter coming out there from Tikatee to start off, but that nano coming out from Lauren really helped.
Yeah, Grandma was so slippery on that first point, but just couldn't evade the giant glowing German from Tikatee. Not really enough that time, but yeah, you're absolutely right, Koby. I think probably one of the most unsung heroes of the game so far has been Overwatch Grandma.
Now we got a couple ults coming in here. A Valk as well. Bob out onto the field this time, thrown up for wOngtonfui. And that is going to do damage, get rid of SweatySpgtti. And red team trying to pull us back though, gets a couple pictures. Tikatee charging into the back, but they're getting burned down by the Zarya as they are going to get finished off here by Giddy, and the resurrection coming through from OWGrandma. This is looking good for Team Red right now. They should be able to keep pushing this.
The Grandma train pulls back into station with the Wong starts going off. Wong starts doing Wong things. Grandma pulls out the Glock, annihilates Wong from mid-range with the headshot, then immediately zooms over to her BAP that's now clearing, gets the res. What an enormous swing again. Grandma, the Mercy DPS, I guess? Absolutely out of her mind.
Yeah, that's two really clutch picks there.
Hey, yo.
Wong just going for... I was going to say going for a reset, but I guess you didn't really need to do that. So, I don't know, just going for some, you know, high velocity sightseeing, I guess.
You can see Wong's message in match chat there. I'm pretty sure that's the actual sequence of buttons that he attempted to press to get back on the map.
Bit of a fun match.
You can see Grandma with another final blow as they're the ones to polish off Gieorge, and now PSF getting bored, getting the knock kill onto Lauren, and Team Red is right back into the driver's seat, getting close to the end of point B. They really want to push this in here, though. You do not want to get stuck at the end of this point. I guess it doesn't matter. There's only 5 seconds left on the clock.
Grandma's playing the Mercy like it's Zenyatta. like it's 50-50 healing damage. It seems to be the case, and they're doing it flawlessly. This is incredible. I'm so happy.
Tick coming out with another big shatter, seeing if they can get some more. Payload already got through though, so that is the second point. Another minute 15 still left in on the clock, with Lex is able to get a headshot in onto Marshmallow, and the attackers are just rolling forward right now. Still with a minute on the clock, they do have an outside chance to get this all the way to the end.
Yeah, it was looking pretty dire there. Honestly, like each point they're getting held up to right towards the end. Oh, such a nice immortality field.
And now you can see Overwatch Grandma with another resurrection. So Lex is still going to be locking down some of those sightlines on the Widowmaker, but Gieorge and Wong getting forward, getting a couple kills for the defenders, and they are going to stabilize here and set us up for one last fight here on Eichenwald.
So roflauren does have the nano available here. We'll probably see this go on to Tikatee, which will be pretty solid resource here to try and hold off this final attack. Everyone's coming in here. No ultimates available for the attackers as the Valkyrie and the nano come out from defense.
SweatySpgtti getting a very important early pick. They're getting rid of the Zarya, and now Giddy is able to get back into the fight now right away. So we can see Marshmallow over the top of the ball, trying to keep the team healed up, and Rayxlene's able to get two with the Dragon Strike to get this payload around last corner and onto the home stretch. And with Giddy getting two of their own, this looks like red team is going to make it all the way. Nobody left to touch right now for the blue team, for the defenders. You can see at the last second here,
Huge.
PSF is going to throw down that minefield, but I don't think it mattered, and round one is done.
A red team just coming in clutch, all 3 points. I think they were in I feel like they were in overtime. All 3 points as they captured those. So really turning up the heat as they come to the end of each, finishing with 0-0, but a finish is a finish. They put themselves in at least a decent position. It's tieable.
Yeah, we'll see what's going to happen now. It's going to be a really interesting attack coming out. Koby, why don't you tell us about another one of our fine content creators?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's only fitting. I think that it's a great time to talk about Overwatch Grandma, right? We've been singing Grandma's praises the entire time. Grandma, or Danny, obviously on her stream, another amazing content creator. One of the veteran content creators in the space. Very recently hit partner, so that's very exciting for her.
Whoa.
But she's absolutely a support main and an absolute force for positivity and love. Her channel is all about inclusion as well as awesome gameplay. She's a yet another amazing content creator, and as you can see, support main, like I said, clearly showing off as you see her and Lex kind of doing their dance out back here to start the next game. But yeah, Grandma, and then Grandma, I was able to convince Grandma to come today. And she said that she was bringing a friend, and once I found out it was SweatySpgtti, I was even more excited. So we kind of got two for the price of one with Grandma and Spaghetti today. So we're very fortunate.
So are their teams, to be honest. This is a cracked support line.
Agreed. What an enormous lamp. I didn't make a comment, but just at the end, that lamp, the placement of the lamp was absolutely professional. Just shielding the lamp from Oncos, but just covering Giddy in the immortality field while the cart slowly moved past the lamp to cover it on a progressive angle. Literally one of the best lamps I think I've seen in probably several matches, and that includes the teams that I've coached.
Okay, everyone take notes. That's good lamp placement, and it absolutely kept them in it. They probably finished the map because of that lamp.
Big purple coming out there on the Reinhardt, but nobody's able to finish off there. Another nice lamp coming out actually in the end. So just as you mentioned, another good lamp coming out there from SweatySpgtti. wOngtonfui is able to get in the back and get 1-2 with the help of Tikatee before Lex is back into the fight once again. Throwing out the dynamite there is Wong trying to see if they can get anyone else. And it looks like this is going to be a good start for Team Blue. They're going to get 2 ticks for sure, probably the whole point here.
PsfOW looking to contest, going to swing onto the point. Oh, no. Opts for escape. Don't blame them. It was not looking good there. This composition that Red is running here is really interesting because any of these pieces can kind of fall. And the rest of the composition can continue playing pretty much as normal here. Rayxlene, with some self-sustain, obviously with the Roadhog as well. And the Wrecking Ball. Everyone can kind of work independently from each other, and that's exactly what we're seeing here.
That also means that everyone can be kind of punished independently in a lot of ways too. But while it is going well for them too, but I find it interesting because it's kind of like an enigma of sorts, right? Not to get on the coaching train, but we usually think of comps as either kind of more focused towards uptime, which is quite literally shooting our guns. Think of comps like poke, or comps that are more like cooldown synchronization centric. For example, dive comps that require a lot of cooldown syncs and resource expansion to simply get in. With a comp like this, we have kind of a mix of what I would consider uptime heroes, like the hit scans, as well as cooldown heroes, like Ball. So we're kind of jack of all trades, master of none, but we're jack of just enough trades here to be a really pronounced hold once we take that enormous castle high ground advantage.
But definitely one of the better high grounds, as we discussed recently.
Hey, I'm on record saying castles are cool, and I stand by that statement. So we can definitely see how strong it can be here. And now Gieorge is able to get in. They've been very aggressive with these picks on the Widowmaker multiple times now. They've started off fights by getting those picks. But finally, the payload is moving here. As you can see, Lauren just by their lonesome pushing it right now.
Yeah,
so smart position by Lauren too. You saw Lauren kind of hide on the back right of the payload because she knew what angle Lex had, so she was kind of crouching behind, like no, kind of playing the opposite diametric angle where the payload gave her enough cover to live from Lex.
Oh, nice visor here.
That's a good visor coming out from Rayxlene. They're able to get 3 picks with it and burn down the Wrecking Ball. Giddy finished him off with that whole hog. And now you can see that red team is finally stabilized once again on their defense. A pretty decent amount of payload push coming through for the attackers.
Yeah, still 3 minutes left to, lots of pieces left. So Bob's going to be available for Lex. That's the only ultimate they have on the board, though. Tikatee, oh boy, Tikatee looking to do some sneaky payload movement here. PsfOW knows exactly what's going on.
But now Tikatee getting back and helping out Gieorge with Giddy on the enemy Roadhog. You can see that whole hog coming out there from the tank as well. Nice hook coming out from Gieorge. They're able to get rid of SweatySpgtti. And that means that they don't have to worry about that anti-nade on the Roadhog as the Ana is out of the fight. And Coricat hitting some nice shots on the Cassie. Can they deny the res? No, they're able to get Rayxlene back into the fight. And so far, with like 3 health, OWGrandma was able to get back out. The res itself was gutsy enough, let alone the escape.
I cannot believe that they made it out of that. Pretty incredible. Valkyrie is available for Grandma for the next one. I feel like they're going to need it here. There is going to be some big pieces coming up here. The Bob, the Deadeye are coming up, obviously. Not much you can really do against that Deadeye, but probably see that as come out and to contest the Bob a little bit.
Looking through here, we got Marshmallow with a resurrection, so this fight will be 6v6 as blue team, the attackers trying to go underneath, maybe get into that castle, get up closer on to the high ground, or at least closer to the payload. We got Tikatee coming out with the minefields early on here. Traps Giddy off in that room momentarily as Coricat's able to get a pick on the Rayxlene. That is down, both DPS down for Team Red, and they are losing players very quickly right now. Nice headshot there from Coricat. They're not able to finish off the kill though on the Lex. Has to get back down to the low ground, get some healing as the Nano Boost comes in. Now on to PsfOW, and Red Team is pushing back. What a counter punch this is. Coricat getting knocked away by the whole hog. Can't do anything with that Deadeye. And just like that, this attack has been stopped in their tracks.
This is all Spaghetti. SweatySpgtti completely bails out the Roadhog there with Giddy, who got hooked in. They were low. It was over for them. They get the Nano. They can bring out the whole hog. Risky play absolutely works, and then Giddy gets the hook onto Tikatee, who's now into the river.
That is not the spot you want to be if you're a Wrecking Ball, just getting absolutely rinsed. And with that, PsfOW is just pushing forward, cleaning up some kills here. 20 seconds, 30 seconds left, and this isn't looking good for the attackers right now.
Do have some big pieces here. Both support ultimates. They've got Bob, they've got Whole Hog. They're going to be building up to this minefield again. We really just need, Tikatee's doing a nice job just disrupting the DPS currently on the high ground, but it seems like there's just so much CC coming his way.
Okay, both Roadhogs getting hooks out and getting some kills. Lex and Marshmallow were the recipients of the hook. Now coming through, we got the hook coming out in on the PsfOW. Can they get back onto the map? Yes, they can. Back into the fight. Wong was able to get one, getting rid of SweatySpgtti before they get cut down by the pulse rifle of Rayxlene. You can see Coricat up to extremely low on HP. That Cassie's got to find a health back or some healing, or they are going to go down. Gieorge is going to be the next to fall. They go over the edge. And with that, that opens the space for Rayxlene to get 2 more picks on that Soldier 76 staying into the backline. Just shooting and sitting pretty right now as the overtime burns away. And that is going to be Red Team taking Eichenwalds here in another entertaining map.
Whew. I'm really excited for this series. I think we saw a similar. We can't really count anybody out. Li Jiang, or I guess no, sorry. First map looked really kind of one-sided, and then it completely changed around as we got further and further into the match. We're seeing Rayxlene here with the Pfizer visor, just wrecking everybody. Giddy doing some help with the whole hog at 49% scoped accuracy for wOngtonfui. That's okay.
That's the same as my scoped accuracy if you minus 30%.
That is unbelievable. Okay. All right, we see you, wOngtonfui. That's ridiculous.
That's very ridiculous. There's many words you can use to describe that. I think ridiculous is absolutely a good one. So that Eichenwald is in the books for the Red Team. We are going to let our teams pick the next map, and we will be back in a moment. What's up, everybody? We're back at NewBeat and Ageless with you, joined by once again by Coach Koby. And as this is a creators PUGS we got going, Koby, you're here to tell us more about these wonderful creators.
Yeah, I'm happy to. Really happy. Very happy to call most everyone in these lobbies, or I think everyone at this point, a friend. So always love to talk about my friends, obviously. But yeah, so we hand selected these creators I mentioned in the very beginning. I think with people who we thought were really excellent ambassadors for the game, really positive, really upbeat, really amazing content creators that do amazing things for both Twitch as a platform and kind of the game at large. People who honestly I look up to very much. So and then we've talked about a few people here, but I think the next creator I'll talk about right now is Coricat. We see on blue team. We've seen Cory play both DPS and tank. Ironically, Cory a support main, so obviously very versatile. A fun fact about Cory. Cory, known as the singing streamer, is an excellent singer and frequently sings in stream. But also, Cory was on Tikatee and I's Overwatch Empowerment Cup team, where she actually learned. I put her through a Reinhardt boot camp in just under a few hours. She probably had about 4 hours total of Reinhardt experience and played main tank for our team in the tournament, going toe-to-toe with some of the best Reinhardts in the world, up to and including top 10 ladder Ryans and contenders Ryans, and held her own. So she's incredibly smart, learns incredibly fast, and overall an amazing person with an amazing voice. So make sure you check her out at some point too.
Wow. All right. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, that is super cool. I mean, I think some people, like you know, I'm not going to say Reddit because who cares about them, but honestly, some people think that Reinhardt's like a pretty easy hero to pick up, and I would argue that there's a lot more nuance to a Reinhardt game that should take a lot longer than that to learn. So that is super impressive. As we can see here, red team starting off onto the attack. We got Lex back on that's what I can call at this point a signature Widowmaker. Already worked their way up to the infra side. Pops out. Rayxlene was able to get a kill on the Marshmallow, so no resurrection available. Gieorge with the hammer kill. I don't know if it's going to be enough for Team Blue, and it definitely won't be, but you gotta love the style coming out with the hammer.
Especially with Gieorge and Giddy being very close friends. Also, there's definitely some friendly BM happening there.
Gieorge, we talked about being a main tank main, so this time on the Torbjorn, which pretty interesting going into a Widow, and it seems to be working out.
Yeah, it's just the budget Reinhardt, you know, just a smaller hammer. That's all it is. And now with that, we got the
Sorry, dude. The real storyline here, as we see PsfOW taking down Wong, but finally we get the Wong v Lex duel. So be watching that. I did see 1-0 by Wong at least. I don't know if there was another kill that I missed, but the Wong v Lex is definitely the fight within the fight to watch here.
It's going to be exciting. You paid for your whole seat, but you only need the edge with those two going at each other on the Widowmaker. OWGrandma with another resurrection, getting their healing partner back into the fight now as Team 2 is trying to make their way through this door. You can see Gieorge going forward again, getting the headshot onto SweatySpgtti. And with that, blue team is going to hold on here and really stabilize on the defense.
Koby, while you're here, let's hear about Rayxlene. We want to talk about these creators that are playing here. Tell us about Rayxlene.
Awesome, yeah. Rayxlene, another one of our partnered streamers joining us today. Ray, another player that I personally met through the Overwatch Empowerment Cup on the Discord. She was the captain of our team and the one who put it all together. I was working with Cory and then got kind of pulled in to coach the team. But Ray, a recent college graduate, just graduated within a few months, so very impressive and big shout out to her. I believe she's actually going into computer science, so coder. So it's Cory actually, just for fun. But regardless, Ray, a partnered streamer, plays a bunch of games, Overwatch and Valorant in particular. Another force for positivity. Someone who I've never heard say a bad word about anyone else, which is saying a lot. But Ray and Anamain, I believe about Master's Peak, might be low GM. And another player that comes from console. She was a GM player on console, Xbox, I believe. Comes over and almost immediately hit 3.8, 3.9 on Ana, who some say is the hardest hero in the game to play. So we have a very talented group here.
Just want to give a big shout out to MC who's joined us for a raid. Thank you so much, MC, and welcome to everyone who's part of the MC raid. We got some creator pugs that we are casting here. We're so happy you've joined us.
MC, mad love. Sorry, I jumped in on you, NewBeat. Shout out to my man MC. Thank you very much for the raid. This is the disfigured head of Coach Koby somewhere behind the scenes that you can't see. But yeah, much love, MC. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. We got some crazy games going on with some names you might know.
Yeah, Koby just back in his compound somewhere in the control room, just putting all this stuff kind of together. As you can see now, Giddy was able to get one with the bomb, and now PSF trying to get into the back line. They're able to punish Marshmallow as this Molten Core comes out here, and Gieorge is back with a vengeance on that Torp.
The Transcendence is available here for SweatySpgtti, and they're going to use it right away, putting them back in the fight. Everyone is renewed with some extra health, except for Rayxlene, who just was headshot.
Wong with another great shot there on the Widowmaker, but SweatySpgtti and Lex are able to get 2 kills of their own, so these attackers could get it all the way in. Only a couple meters left to go right now. Contest coming out from the blue team on the defense as they are trying to burn as much time as they possibly can off the clock. SweatySpgtti looking great on this Zenyatta, once again able to finish off the baby diva. And with that, it looks like it could just be a matter of time for the attackers to get this the rest of the way in, especially now that Rayxlene's got 2 kills, back up in the high ground, sitting safe. They do have attack visor, but they're not gonna need it right now. This is just mopping everybody up. A good job from the blue team to burn more time off the clock. But now we are going on to the 3rd point here in Gibraltar.
Really nice there. We saw Tikatee with a little bit of the spin to win before they move over to the Roadhog, and really aggressive minefield from PSF.
It's going to be a great opening salvo coming in as the minefield is able to get to wOngtonfui, still doing great on that Widow, able to get another kill as PSF crashes through and gets rid of Lauren, and now just trying to get back out of the fight here and regrouping with some of their team.
I love this from wOngtonfui. They jump off the map to PSF leaves them alone. They grapple back up, try and hit a grapple shot, and then reset.
And with that, we have a bomb coming in over the top, and that doesn't find anything there.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Wong decides to take over, which I think he might. Wong without Lex on the Widow duel. Lex has been putting in some serious work on Hanzo, but without the Widow duel to check Wong, if Wong is able to hold this top high ground on defense here and just gain these long sight lines on the open angle after the team crosses corner, the red team is really forced to walk into them. So I think without a serious check for Wong, whether that's a dedicating PSF's resources or Giddy or Lex, yep, we're gonna see Wong kind of go nuts. Yeah,
Oh my god.
It's not going to be good unless we have something to dedicate. I wouldn't be surprised to see Lex switch back.
Headshot after headshot after right hook, I guess, at the end. Finally, wOngtonfui is taken down by Rayxlene, but not before just clicking heads like a pro.
Oh my lord. And you know, there is spawn advantage here. So they're going to spawn. They're going to be right back at this high ground by the time Red can even regroup. We're probably going to see, I'd like to say PSF really start to put some pressure on. Tikatee well aware of what's going on though.
The Roadhog came out there, or the Pole Hog came out there from Tikatee, and they were able to push back PSF. Another great hook, and they're pulling PSF into the doorway, and that is going to take them up. And now Rayxlene has popped that attack visor, seeing if they can get more than just Wong right now. They have to be really careful, Wong, on that Widowmaker, as they are getting Rayxlene down to 5 HP, but the healing station is available, and they do have that Mercy Pocket from OWGrandma as well, which allowed the Soldier 76 to stay alive, as Gieorge is pushing forward here, playing so aggressive on this Torbjorn, and it's really working out for them.
This Roadhog hook into the room by Tikatee is huge brain play. I feel like if you have like a second maybe to talk about Tikatee, Koby, while you're here.
Of course, yeah. You know, obviously Tikatee, a huge brain play, does not surprise anyone here who knows who Tikatee is. Tikatee, of course, being another resident coach, someone who I'm very grateful to call a friend, and one of the absolute mega minds of the game, in my opinion. Tikatee, an ex-coach for the Dallas Fuel, as well as the head coach of Team Canada 2019. Clearly, probably the biggest brain in the lobby today. And they ended up getting it, but they C9 a bit there, but Tikatee, the absolute biggest brain in the lobby, and an amazing person, a genuine guy, someone who's always willing to give his time freely, especially for someone as credentialed as he is. So of course we know Tikatee, we love Tikatee, obviously our fourth compatriot here on the on the High Ground show. But yes, Tick, absolutely incredible, both in game and outside the game. As you hear Marsh strategizing for the next round to my left. Sorry about the audio, please.
No worries. We could see someone said that Wong was scaring them into C9.
That's fair.
Worried about the Widow. Unsurprising, to be honest. I would also be genuinely afraid of Wong on that Widowmaker. So forced by a C9, by a Widow this time. We've seen, obviously a lot of C9s with Overwatch 2. No one knows who's going to be pushing the payload with only 5 members. But so it is a little wild to see it with 6. But, everyone's cowering from the Widow of Wong. So it's less surprising there.
It is, and it's really interesting. You see Lex goes, all right, fine, Wong. She picks the Widow on defense here, clearly saying that she's done and she wants the smoke. Wong, at least for now, on Symmetra. I wonder what squirrely stuff we're going to see from blue team here. Gieorge is still hard locking the Torb.
I wonder if they're going to just teleport to high ground, maybe? Yeah, there we go. So they're all going to hit high ground here, take away, then right away, and that's how you get rid of Lex, although they get an exit kill.
You get the kill with the Venomine. You'll love to see it. So trade 1 for 1 there as teams blue is trying to push forward and starting to get this payload moving and holding onto the high ground. That's a pretty good combo to start this off.
That's huge. It's not often you see the Venomine kills just like that as you get charged, but making great work on the defense here. No real ults to speak of just yet, but they're getting really nice high ground control. It's just Tikatee that is up on the bridge.
How do we attack Gibraltar A? Oh, simple. Just teleport the Torb top right.
Yeah, just that age-old strategy that you see people use all the time. It's definitely a classic. And Koby, what we have here, why don't we? I'm just trying to look through. I don't think we've heard much about PsfOW yet. If you could kind of give us a rundown on them.
Yeah, so PsfOW, another small creator. PsfOW, probably one of the newest people that I'm aware of in terms of in my kind of sphere of influence. Not that that's very wide, but PsfOW, another amazing player. I believe a Masters tank peak, but also has an incredible shot and a really insane mechanical skill. Working on climbing DPS at the moment. But a fun fact about PsfOW. PsfOW is another college student and a music major. You'll see if you ever visit PsfOW stream, I think several guitars, maybe even a piano behind him. PsfOW, known to break out in music, any one of various instruments behind him, plays a bunch of instruments, is absolutely insane in terms of theory knowledge. Music being his true passion, and him being somewhat of a musical savant from what I've heard. I've yet to see it myself, but PsfOW, another incredibly multi-talented creator.
Oh, Lex taking the Widow duel there too, gets the pick onto Wong.
That's really cool about PsfOW as well. I mean, some people might know that Ageless and I actually dabble in music as well from time to time. We have been in bands. Thankfully, they were before it was before the time of like YouTube and stuff, so you can't find the music anywhere. So that's solid. Our producer saying you can get a recording, don't say that. And with that, we can see a lot of ultimates being spent here. SweatySpgtti getting very low, doesn't have an immortality field available, and Gieorge is going to finish him off as the Blizzard came out and froze up that Baptiste. Now we got the Nano Boots coming out onto the Reinhardt right now, and Tikatee is going to just push forward with that, able to get a kill onto PsfOW. But they got to be really careful of Lex, because if Lex is alive, Lex can turn this fight around just by themselves.
Absolutely, they have been marked by Wong. You can see there. Yeah, Wong just had such an advantage there. They were forced to move away. I think Giddy's doing a really nice job of marking their position, taking away those sight lines with the Sigma shield, but unfortunately just not quite enough. Oh, go. Sorry, Ray.
I think it's amazing to you see Wong respect the Lex Widow very much. Doesn't just play it out in the open. Is kiting cover, is dancing back and forth, looking for both vertical and horizontal strafes against her. Do everything he can to get the shot. Similar to how he would if he was taking the duel. It's especially relevant when we consider that Wong is obviously a mid GM Widow player, and Lex is honestly kind of just flirting with Diamond as a Widow. So, I think it's a testament to how talented and how technical Lex's ability is, that she can threaten a Widow like Wong this clearly, who's honestly like 1500 SR over her. So that just tells you right there, folks. Don't put all the stake in the funny number. Sometimes that's not all that matters.
Oh boy, Coricat doing such a nice job on this diva. We're seeing a ton of pressure being put on. I think, the Roadhog, obviously great pick potential here, but having the diva from Coricat, you are able to take full advantage of that mobility. You can get up in the Widow's face. You can, block some of these hooked targets from PSF. It's really a perfect hero to be playing here as the Blizzard comes out. What a lamp!
That is a crazy lamp coming out, but really gets to the molten core of all things. Giddy getting into the back end, taking down Wong, and this is going to be the red team cleaning up here, stopping the cart with 1:45 left on the clock.
PSF was solo blizzarded, and everyone stayed alive because of SweatySpgtti there. That is unbelievable. What a play there from the supports of red team, keeping everybody in the fight here as Giddy and PSF meeting the entire enemy team just about there. And here comes a bomb from Coricat.
Blocks out as well from Giddy. That's going to punish Wong and Wong alone before Gieorge is going to send them packing as Lex finishes off Tikatee, who is unfortunately very low health, trying to charge back on out here. And with that, the defense is going to hold strong once more. Oh, and barely just getting Lauren on that Anna. Unlucky for Lauren, wasn't able to escape. And now the defense has burned a ton of time off this puck. Lex has got to be careful here going into the 1v1 and taken down by Gieorge from range.
Oh no, OWGrandma pulls out the Glock, goes right after Wong.
Enough, they take down Wong. And then, yeah, I guess I'll go back for the res. Get that too. However, Wong gets a resurrection of their own, so now we have both Widowmakers back in the fight. Duel round 2. You love watching these two go at it. Giddy's able to get a kill. Wong is going to win that Widowmaker duel as they dispatch Lex. And with Coricat getting a kill, this is going to be the defense making their last push here. Big Blizzard coming up from Gieorge, able to get a couple kills on the back of that. And this is going to be the attackers pushing forward at the death here. And they could be able to get the payload all the way in. It doesn't look like anyone can touch from Team Red, and that is the case. So now 132 left in onto the time bank as we get going into round 3, although Gieorge gets claimed by the hook. And Wong back into the fight with Tikatee, able to follow up on that damage.
This is actually a big pick from PSF.
It is, and absolutely. Just laughing. If you get bad spawn into a Widow like Wong, it's over for you. You might as well just find the edge of the map and jump off, because you're not gonna be able to walk all that distance to get safe. But yeah, an absolutely amazing lamp you called it there, Ageless by Sweaty, keeping them all alive. But Gieorge with the Blizzard, the May carry is strong with this one.
You'd love to see the May carry too. That was
Caster Curse.
One of the first characters that I played when Overwatch came out back in the day. But yeah, that was a bit of a caster curse. Unlucky, but I'm sure Gieorge will get right back to it onto this May. You can see Rayxlene has the Molten online, ready to hold and throw down onto this payload whenever they so choose. Tikatee getting into the back. Adaptive shield very low, has to get out, get that mega health pack just to stay alive and stay relevant into the fight as Wong wins the Widowmaker duel once again, pulling a little bit ahead of Lex now, which is impressive with how Lex has played the Widowmaker today. And the Nano coming in onto the Diva, who goes in for the bomb. That's a little bit unlucky, even though they do get OWGrandma. The Nano really had nothing to do with it. At the end of the day, PSS able to get one pick as Wong is taking over this Widowmaker duel with another kill.
Oh my
we are
God.
getting down to the end of this map, and with Wong's heroic at the end, Team Blue is gonna take it just by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, once Wong gets set up on that kind of like a back catwalk, it's over. It's so difficult to even walk out of the spawn with this scoped in like that, as we're seeing. I think this is part of our, this is our first attack here. They just start taking everybody apart. There's two. Yeah, grapple away from the bomb. Okay, there's that right hook that we talked about.
That's a very confident Widowmaker play right there, with the bomb coming out and going, well,
31 scope critical hits.
Absolutely filthy.
All right. Well, that was. I'm really really happy we went there. It seems like whoever's more confident in their widow is going to be taking these maps. We saw, choosing Dorado to try and shut down a widow. We're past that. We're past picking away from the widow. We're now just picking for
lean
your
into it.
own widow.
Well, absolutely lean into it. So both these teams getting ready for the next map. We're going to see what the map pick will be shortly. And Ageless, it's really been fun to watch as there's been just some dynamite Overwatch being played.
Yeah, especially that these teams are obviously we're playing it's a regular PUGS lobby. Everyone's just being drafted. These teams have not played together. Obviously some of these other players have played together before. We heard from Koby. Koby and Tikatee had coached some of these players before in the Empowerment Cup, things like that. But for the most part, everyone's just getting slapped together here in the PUGS lobby. We've had really close games so far.
Yeah, this is the second game we've done today, and both games have gone 1-1 to a third map. So it looks like we will be heading off to Nepal.
I'm really interested to see what comes out here. Normally we'll kind of get a feel for what the tanks are wanting to play, and they'll usually kind of pick towards whatever that play style is. Has not been the case in this game. It seems like, especially Tikatee, it's been mystery heroes across the board. We've seen the run, we've seen the ball, we've seen Zarya, Diva, Roadhog, I believe some Orisa as well. There doesn't really seem to be any favoring as far as a play style goes. Everyone's just kind of going out, flexing, and just playing whatever makes sense for the map. So I'm really impressed by a lot of the players we have, and not only within their role. We have talked quite a bit about players swapping roles completely. We've saw support mains on tank or moving to DPS. It's been pretty unbelievable, the flexibility of these players.
It's been super fun to watch. So Koby, we have you back here now. So let's give a shout out to another one of our fantastic content creators. I don't think we've heard much about Lauren yet at all.
Absolutely, yeah, Lauren. So Lauren, another amazing creator, a late night streamer in general. We capture a little bit early today, but Lauren is actually a plat, maybe a diamond peak. I don't want to be mad at me. Watch if she hit diamond. Support player. Lauren, historically a Mercy main. However, very recently, in the past few weeks, I have actually been working with her. You'll find several VODs about her, with her and I doing some coaching on the Ana. So Lauren, actually by my command, has been told that she should be playing Ana more because her Ana is absolutely insane. Really growing fast and hopefully climbing, hoping to hit diamond again this season. But outside of the game, Lauren is mother by day, an amazing streamer and content creator by night. I believe she has 3 littles and still manages to find time to attempt to get better at her hobbies in her life, like playing at night. Her attitude is unbelievable, and she is yet another example of kind of an Overwatch streamer that does it all more so than just the game, and is really someone to keep an eye on and follow. Specifically, if her Ana gameplay curves the way it is, but I really think that she's playing Ana much above her weight. She's really punching above her weight, and an amazing person outside the game as well. An absolute radiant source of love and light. So please check out Lauren as well.
Rayxlene, pretty impressive on this Tracer here. Red team is 27% now. PsfOW cleaning everybody up. Lex already at a Dragon Strike.
That was some elite tracking there from Rayxlene.
Absolutely.
It's been fun to watch so far on this map. You can see Red team has really kind of taken the initiative, getting onto this point, getting some kills, and now coming into this next fight, they definitely have the advantage in the ultimate economy, and that would likely carry them to another fight win coming up.
Yeah, ton of ultimates are going to start off with the Dragon Strike, splitting the team. Tikatee's all alone here. Will he make it out? Looks like he is. Marshmallow manages to live through the Dragons as well. Rayxlene putting a ton of pressure onto Wongton, but oh yeah, it's just overwhelming.
Yeah, a lot of ultimates coming out here. Now you can see PsfOW trying to get forward, swinging away on Tikatee, who does have the pocket and the nano on them. So Tikatee is pretty hardy for the time being, coming in back in with a shadow. Great block coming out there from PsfOW. That was a perfectly timed play by the Reinhardt. They're going to finish him off with the charge as well. A little bit of a MTD, at least in that instance. And that's going to be another fight for the red team.
Yeah, up to 90%. It's going to be tough to push into this, though. You know, they do have some major pieces. Another Dragon Strike comes out here from Lex. Someone's got to touch, though. Oh, no.
That's a big blizzard coming out there from the May. Gieorge freezing up a lot of people. Lex was able to get one headshot in there, as Blue has to stay on the point if they want to stay alive in this round, and it's not looking great as the May goes down, followed quickly by the Ash. So no damage left for Team Blue right now. Resurrection coming in, a big gutsy res there for Marshmallow. Nicely done to stay in that. Unfortunately, they do pay for it with their life, and it looks like Blue Team's time is numbered now as the picks are coming through for Team Red, and with overtime just about to start burning down here, you can see the only one left right now is Tikatee with purple with low health. There is really no chance for Tik to stay on the point there, and with that, that's going to be 100-0 for Team Red. A good start here on Nepal.
Really decisive there. I think taking the Ryan matchup was really strong. I expected a little bit more value to come out of the Zarya going into the Diva, you know, a little bit more brawl centric, but they never really got a chance to get on the point and take full advantage of that more brawly composition.
That's true. They never got to. I think that the other comp kind of pulled them out backwards a little bit, really detached them from the way they wanted to win or their win conditions, and we saw the Tracer go to work, even though Rayxlene got picked early last fight. But just the Tracer really stretching out their comp was really strong. Another thing, just for fun, that might be interesting, and to the surprise of exactly no one, when I hopped into Red and said, "Hey, what map are we picking?" Immediately Busan was thrown out, and then a couple people almost in unison said, "You want to play against Wong on Busan?" So we clearly see how Red Team is seeking to attack Nepal with a Widow negation strategy in mind, and that has worked out for them the first round here.
This is the first bit of Lucio that we've actually seen here with Marshmallow locking the DJ, putting a lot of pressure up already, providing so much more mobility here for Tikatee. I really like this swap. Oh, sorry, we did see it on Lijiang as well, but providing a lot of mobility here for Tikatee. I think it's going to be really key here. You know, really high sustained comp here for Red, but just so much faster. You know, you have the Lucio speed boost plus the teleporter.
And it's going to be really hard for Team Red to get in onto the point now that the Symmetra for Wong has set up onto the point. It's going to be a very difficult area to get involved in. Now you can see Blue Team even just pushing forward farther, but they do lose Tikatee. And that could be rough. Nice eat coming out. The Dragon Strike gets eaten by Corey. That is a big play. That one's a tough to eat. You only have 10 meters to do it. And now getting forward. It looks like even with the negated ult, Team Red is going to take this fight and make the flip.
Really nice play there. Giddy's coming up to the grab, so you know, deciding not to need that combo. Lex just taking things into their own hands, trying to get that dragon out. Poorly timed, unfortunately. Coricat all over them for that. But a ton of ultimates available for Blue. 5 on the board. It's just Marshmallow that's waiting on that beat. That ultimate takes, I'd say, quite a bit longer than almost any others. A big shatter.
Big coming out there from Tikatee as well. And now Blue Team is going to try and push forward, but PsfOW able to get 2 of their own on that run. And Graviton Surge comes out now from Giddy, and that's going to lock up multiple members of Team Blue, and they can't get out to safety. And Red's going to push forward and tie this submap up.
Yeah, this is huge, and this all comes down to SweatySpgtti. So this is a really big shatter comes out from Tikatee, and a nano comes out as well. Unfortunately, big Bionade comes out from SweatySpgtti, basically negates this entire play. Tikatee has to basically just stand there with the shield up as they just get pummeled down, not able to take full advantage of the shatter or the nano. So fantastic play, pulling all those resources, you know, huge resources out with that shatter and nano, and finding no value.
And before we get to the end of this submap here, Koby, is there any other content creators we still would like to shout out?
I'm not sure. I think we've pretty much touched on everyone. I don't know if we talked about Giddy yet. I know we did a little bit. I think just for I'm not sure if we did, but That's for eating my dragons. We see Lex, get back Lex and Corey with the little banter and chat. That's really wholesome, honestly.
Marshmallow maybe a little bit.
Marshmallow, yes, of course. How could I forget? Yeah, I think it's also Marshmallow present of my own because she's 5 feet from me, as I've said before, on my left. Another small PSF, another smaller content creator in the scene. And you can hear in the background here, she goes down she falls to Giddy here, but Marsh, as we call her in our media friend group, sometimes Mama Marsh, also known as the Golden Glock, being able to take out the Glock and go to work. Marsh, a Mercy main, also plays Ana and a little bit of Lucio. Also a part of Jump Esports on a new scrim team. That name came from PUGS. As we see, I think I actually missed who won the game here. I think I took it down. Was it Red Team that got the dub?
Red Team. Yeah, they got the W.
Yeah. Red Team got the dub, so I think that'll do it. But yeah, Marsh, another amazing small creator. Combat Marshmallow, I know their name is Marshmallow. Combat Marshmallow on Twitch, absolutely amazing. Mama Marsh, very glad to have her with us, and also very glad to have her with me physically. It's very exciting. First time we've met after knowing each other for a year for another streamers meetup. So Marsh, go check her out on Twitch as well. That's Combat Marshmallow. Make sure we show her some love too, please.
That's fantastic. And I think there's just one other content creator to shout out quickly, and that's you, Koby. Another extremely smart coach. In the short time that I've known you, very just wonderful person, multi-talented too, like marketing and like all this other stuff that definitely goes over my head. So I just wanted to give you a quick shout out as well, Coach Koby on Twitch. To
Mad love, NewBeat. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. It's been super fun. We're at our 2 hours, so I do believe that's going to be it for us. Ageless, is there anything you wanted to add before we head it out?
Just big thanks for all the creators coming out and playing. Obviously, big thanks to Koby for putting this together. Koby recently joined High Ground like a week ago and was like, we're going to do all this stuff. And then we're doing all this stuff. And it's been absolutely fantastic. We're here on our brand new Twitch channel. So give us a follow if you've enjoyed yourself today. And we're going to be doing this every Wednesday going forward. It's going to be all sorts of creator pugs and other events coming on. We also have a little podcast show that we're going to be doing, as well as Bracket Night, which we did last night, which is basically us fighting over mundane items in Overwatch. Last night we did What's the Best High Ground, and really watched Koby and Tikatee completely mauled over what they wanted to be the best high ground, while we just kind of kept throwing a spanner in the works.
Yeah, it was truly fun to watch these two, 9,000 IQ coaches arguing what the best high ground was, and I was like, oh, pretty colors, and just like raising Tikatee and Koby's blood pressure by like 30 points. So I know I had fun. Join us for that next week on Tuesdays. We'll be doing that at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's really fun. I know I have fun. We've heard good reviews at least so far, so it'll be really fun to watch going forward. So thanks for joining us tonight. This has been our first Pugs and Positivity here on High Ground. Thank you so much for having us. Big shout out to Harvester. He does all the production. He's wonderful. We all love him, even if you don't necessarily see or hear him. He's doing so much work in the back end, and we just got to shout that out. So once again, for Ageless at AgelessCast on Twitter, I am NewBeat, thanking you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.